Hey guys, welcome to Sippin Safari, a podcast where we have guests on every episode. We drink, we have a good time, but most importantly, every episode we'll pick a different category, present animals that fall into that category to our guests to have them rank at the end of the episode. Stick around to hear our guests' final rankings and see who will leave a sore loser and who will leave a bad winner.
So I got these free Bud Light seltzers on the condition that I gave a review, and I gave a review before I drank it. So I just kind of watched
you're
a
not
commercial
supposed to
and
tell
just
that.
regurgitated what I heard in the commercial.
Also, it's a Bud Light seltzer, so there's like not a whole lot to expect.
That was a nice crack though.
That was a good crack.
It's good timing too.
So now give us an honest review.
It's very sweet.
Well, what I don't
Really?
like off the bat, being as I haven't tried it, is that it's zero sugar.
It's zero sugar.
It
Yeah.
is zero sugar. It's a
So,
lot sweeter than
yep.
I expected.
That is sweeter than I would have thought.
Wow, Logan doesn't want your spit, Caleb.
It's a lot like
Waterfall to that.
it almost tastes like my
wasn't
other
an
drink.
effective one either.
Like slightly less sweet than a Seagram's.
Don't like it.
Thanks for the ASMR there.
I can't not think of Phil Wang whenever I make weird noises.
Philly Philly Wang Wang.
Oh, Philly Wang Wang. Him in that way too tight tracksuit.
You listen to the podcast, right?
I haven't in a while.
He didn't realize how tight it was.
Yeah, I did hear that one. Like until he saw the cuts, he was like, "Oh shit!" Didn't realize it was that
Which
bad.
makes it so much better.
It does.
All right, Logan, what is your drink of choice that you're no longer drinking because you've already had two?
A Paloma. That is what I was drinking, and now I'm trying this wine that is not very good.
With shit tequila. Oh, and shit wine.
Yeah, shit wine, and the tequila you got was truly terrible.
Yeah.
Only at first. It got better.
It got better once you couldn't smell it.
But I think that's every alcohol.
No, because the wine hasn't gotten better, and this is his third drink.
Yeah,
Yeah, the wine's pretty bad.
it's pretty bad.
But it gets the job done.
I
It
had to
is.
chug it, and
Well, chugging wine is a mistake, no matter
Well,
what.
I was like in the mood for chugging wine.
The mood is called depression.
So
I like that.
so chugged some wine and chased it with Seagrams.
Yeah, it was quite the sight to see.
Yep. And then I made some beautiful music. See if I can
You tried making
let's see.
music. I don't think you got any music in there.
And walked in a straight line and then spun too fast. And
He
ran
did
into the
not
wall.
walk in a straight line.
It was straighter than I thought it would be.
Still not straight. He got like halfway through straight, and then he really took a hard left. The only thing that stopped him going more left was the wall.
Okay, is this supposed to be Jingle Bells?
Yeah.
Because that's what
Yes.
you always go for, and I don't know why that's the first song in your head
the only
always.
monotone song I can think of.
All right, are you gonna be done with your music for now?
For now. No promises it won't come back.
So Logan,
What do you know about animals?
I know some about animals, but not nearly as much as either of you.
okay, what I was gonna say is, hey Logan, you're back.
I am back.
Oh, and
Epis-
thanks to Jams and Mystic Narwhal for supporting us on Patreon, and make sure to check them out on Twitch. So Logan,
Yes,
I promised a longtime listener to ask what do you know about animals?
I know.
And it cannot oh wait, this is the same Logan as episode 1.
Yes.
Well, is it though? He's changed a lot since
Oh,
then.
yeah. A
Yep.
lot's happened since then, so I'm probably not the same person anymore.
He's a lot drunker a lot more of the time now.
Wow,
That's
this
accurate.
got real.
A lot more depressed and,
Oh boy.
Hey, same.
depression all around.
Woo.
Wow.
Cheers to that.
I feel like I can't leave all of this in.
Yeah, you can.
It was
Oh,
a nice
gosh.
clink. You had a nice crack. We had a nice clink.
Yeah, it was a nice clink.
This conversation is depressing me.
Hey, we're already there.
That's what the
And
alcohol's
that's
for.
why we drink.
Correct.
All right. So, Caleb, do you want to introduce how this subject came to be Logan's subject?
Well, what do you know about animals? You
I
keep
answered it the first
Yeah,
time.
you're skirting around the
He
I
answer.
answered
answered
it.
it the first time.
He said
Some, but not as much as you.
Yeah.
Apparently, I don't know anything about puffins.
You don't know anything about puffins, but that's only one
Do you know
animal.
that they're bioluminescent?
No, he didn't.
Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
You
Okay.
should, because that was part of your episode.
No, I don't think
It
so.
was,
Was
because
it?
their beaks are bioluminescent.
Are you?
And we showed him pictures of it.
It was somebody's episode. I don't remember
It was
whose
the
it
very
was.
first one. It was an honorable mention.
I don't remember the puffins.
It wasn't honorable mention, but I don't remember what episode it was. It's been so long.
Honestly, the only bird I remember from that episode was a potu.
Yeah, I've seen
You
videos
talked
of it
to me about the
since then.
flamingo too,
Okay, but I don't remember it being in the episode. I just know flamingos.
and the double
Yeah,
toucan.
because of the episode.
Double toucan. Yeah, that's right.
We know how much you enjoy feet.
God damn it.
So, your topic is drum roll, please. Okay, no one's giving me a drum roll. Most fetish-worthy feet.
This is a targeted attack.
Yes, it is.
Okay, well, animals don't wear sandals. So,
Yes.
this
So,
is,
so these are bare feet, which is worse.
Bare feet are fine, but
yeah. So, okay. For the listeners, Logan has a sandal fetish and Caleb has
No.
just a foot fetish.
No,
and
no,
this
no, no,
is,
no.
This is why
No.
there is
they're
no
so
fetish
opposed.
involved.
No.
Sandals are a useless shoe that deserve to burn.
They're a crime to humanity.
I have sent you many examples.
Yes, and they're
of
terrible.
Wonderful, useful
You
sandals.
have sent me examples of sandals.
There's-
The dregs of the underworld.
Yeah, there's this whole text chain between these two of Ailish sending these horrible sandal.
Okay, some of them are horrible.
pictures.
Some of them are wonderful.
All of them are
some
horrible.
weird like
I think there may have been one that was okay.
there was some where like the toenails were all janky and
Oh yeah, it was a fake foot.
No,
that-
I think it was a real foot, but I
There's
think the
no way that was a real
the
foot.
toenails were like the
There is
stick-on nails.
no way that's a real foot.
I think it was a real
No
foot.
modeling agency would have put a real foot that looked like that in a picture.
An Instagram modeling agency.
They're terrible at their job.
so
Okay,
there's
so-
the backstory.
Yeah, foot fetishes all around,
No.
except for me.
No
Okay.
foot fetishes.
Nope.
Just hate sandals.
Yeah.
Okay, well, you don't have to judge sandals. You just have to judge feet and how sexy they are.
Enjoy.
Okay.
Enjoy.
And
Make
how...
the most of your time.
Okay, I wasn't sure if I was first. So we'll see if I do actually start. Okay, Logan.
What's the scientific name?
Fuck if I know. What's the scientific name?
I don't know, but you need. I've told you to add it.
Yeah, and I have not.
People want to know.
Logan, what is the word that is currently on the
People
screen?
People tell me all the time.
Tarsiers?
Yeah, that's how I say it. Caleb, how do you say it?
Le tarsi?
Le tarsi? Yeah, tarsiers. That's what I say. I'm not positive that's correct, but that is as close as it's going to get. Do you know what this animal is?
Not a clue.
Okay, good to know.
It's like a penguin crossed
Okay.
with
Go for it.
a polar bear.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm expecting a polar bear with just penguin feet.
I love it.
An abomination of nature.
Yep.
All right, so this might change what you're expecting. They used to be widespread across the world, but they're now found in the Philippines, Malaysia, Indonesia, and Brunei. They are found primarily in forests, especially ones with liana, which allow them to climb better.
These are the only places that polar bears and penguins coincide, so they were able to produce.
Makes sense.
And the last fact I'll give you before I actually show you what this is, it is the second smallest primate. So now where do you picture?
I think Logan still doesn't know what liana means.
Yeah, 100%.
And he's probably still hung
No
up on
clue.
it.
Do you know what
I
liana
wasn't
is?
hung up on it, but I didn't know what it was.
Because I speak Spanish. I know exactly what it is.
What is it? I don't know what it means in Spanish.
In Spanish, it means vine.
Yeah, that's that's
So
right.
Okay.
jungly.
Yeah, like long viney things. It's like
Okay.
a category of plant.
I'm just expecting a weird, fucked up monster.
No, they're really cute.
I had a vine in my backyard growing up that it was it's probably like 2 or 3 inches thick, and it hung off the edge of you're gonna use engineering terms. It was like a 1-to-1 slope. It was probably like 100 feet long, and there's a tree kind of on the edge of it, and it had this vine hanging from one branch to the other, and it was
Yeah.
at the perfect height for about a year and a half to where you could sit on it and swing. And then it got too low, and I was sad.
It got too low or you got too fat.
Both.
See, I can tell you are not a southerner by nature from that because I would have fully either cut that in half to have 2 vine swings that would have absolutely fallen. I would have just busted my ass.
But then you have to like hang on to it.
I
I got
thought
to
you were
sit
gonna-
Yeah,
in it.
exactly.
Like I got to sit in it like a swing.
No, you're treating it like a hammock under a swing. Like, no. You cut it in half and you try to run down a hill with it.
I thought you were going to say, because he didn't say Vine.
Well, we had a zip line like 100 feet away, so that was plenty of excitement, especially since my cousin got a concussion and busted a tooth on it. So two separate occasions, by the way.
Okay.
Same cousin, though.
Same cousin.
Hey, they're living.
All right, can I continue? Or are we going to have more stories from the jungle? Oh, yeah, okay.
That'd be
so,
a good podcast name.
picture. They're really cute.
Oh, that's what
They're like
okay.
wet
I've definitely seen
looking
pictures
monkeys.
of those.
It looks like what Dobby might look like in real life.
Is this no? Okay, I was about to say, is this what the cute little guy is from Madagascar? But then I realized that was Madagascar, not Asia. But it really does. It looks like the cute little guy.
Well, they are closely related.
I don't know what he's supposed to be.
He looks like a Tarsier.
He does. Now that I
So-
think of it,
Have you seen, I guess it's Sing 2?
no. I've avoided both of those movies like the plague
Why?
because they're horrible.
I like them.
They're good movies.
No.
But I'm pretty
Now-
sure there's one of these in the second one singing, and its head just like spins very creepily.
Spoilers. You know what I'm going to talk about in just a minute. So, its eyeballs are the same size as its brain, and its eyeballs are fixed in its head. It cannot move its eyeballs. So it
So like
can,
it can't change its looking
Yeah.
angle.
so literally they can rotate their neck around 180 degrees.
But not like an owl, like the other way, like
What?
or in Sing 2, which is what you made me think of now. It's rotating like his face is always pointing forward, and it's rotating like a clock.
What? No.
Yeah.
No, not accurate.
Okay. Well,
No.
that's what I had in mind.
No, like 180 degrees to be able to see 360 degrees around it.
Gotcha.
So it
he
can
is
look
an
one
owl.
way, yeah, and then
Okay.
look the other way because it can't move its eyes,
Okay.
which is crazy.
He's
That
a
is weird.
Goodman's mouse lemur. That's Mort. And Maurice was an eye.
He was a very good looking eye because he did not look like an eye.
I don't remember how either of these look like.
Show him a picture. Maurice was like the sensible one.
You know what King Julian looks like?
Yes.
He's just the classic ring-tailed
Yeah. 100%. Oh yeah, that guy.
Morton Maurice.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Yeah. So Mort was the one that was like obsessed with King Julian.
Yeah, I
And
remember the
Maurice-
names,
yeah.
but
Anyways, back to Tarsiers. They're the only extant primates that are fully carnivorous, which is kind of creepy because it looks like it should just eat fruit.
yeah, 100%.
But when you say carnivorous, it means bugs.
Yeah, but it looks like it should just be like eating a mango all day.
It's not like it's going out and
I
eating
imagine
human
it
children.
eating just a ton of grapes.
Yeah, see, that's what it looks like. It has like the cute little like wet eyes.
King Julian eats a bunch of grapes.
Does he? I guess he is a king. Yeah, that's the very.
Pretty sure there's a scene where
Yeah, I'd 100% expect that to happen. In one of the 8 movies they have.
All right, just a couple more fun facts
3
before we get to the feet.
3 movies and 3 TV shows.
Oh, sorry. I confused movies and TV shows for the fucking Madagascar.
Cinematic universe.
Yeah. Sorry.
All right. Baby tarsiers can climb a day after they're born. So unlike a lot of other
Damn,
primates,
fucking
they can
slackers.
actually climb themselves and they don't have to just hold on to their moms. And they are currently vulnerable to extinction, but they are on their way there because of the pet trade and deforestation,
Oh, okay.
which is what people do to things.
I was wondering why they would be going extinct because they're not big enough to provide any useful is not the right word, but suitable amount of fur for
Yeah.
coats or anything like that.
No, deforestation and
Yeah,
pets.
the pet trade makes sense.
Because humans are assholes.
Yeah,
Yep.
they are.
All right, so here are its fetish-worthy feet. Look at how cute they are. They have these huge, flat tips of their toes, and they look kind of like you've seen Lilo and Stitch, right?
Yes,
Cleekly's fingers,
they do.
like the big,
Yep.
bulbous but flat
Mhm.
things.
Yep.
That would be really fun to fingerprint.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have to roll their finger at all. You just have
they
to
wouldn't really have a pattern though. It'd just be flat. It'd just be
You
like
don't
a
know.
dark spot.
You don't know.
I
Koalas have fingerprints like people.
Okay,
I
they don't
know
have
if
that
these-
shit.
I don't know if these ones have.
I don't think those have fingerprints.
Just another picture. Okay. So that's the difference that you can see between its hand and its foot. I'm not sure if I have a picture of like my big fun fact about the feet.
It honestly looks like almost every other lemur foot.
Okay. That's what I'm getting to my big fun fact about the feet, but I'm not sure if I could find a picture of it. Let me see.
I mean, they have insane knuckles.
They do. Okay, so you can't see it super well, but you can see it a little bit. So instead of nails, their back toes have claws. So you can see their front toes have like kind of like those little
They
nail things.
Almost look like hooves from here
What?
on the front feet.
Yeah,
Like they look like the bottom of a hoof.
because the nail looks like it's separating two
Yeah,
different.
I can
Yeah.
see what you're saying. But look
clefts.
at this
Yeah.
claw.
That is.
Look at that claw. And so that's the reason that it's fetish worthy, because people are like into toenails and stuff. I don't know what your opinion is on toenails, and really spiky, like sexy ones.
Yeah, I just love to be stabbed by a toenail. Of course, that's true.
But yeah, so they use the back toenails for grooming,
Okay.
and that's why they have those big claws.
I know you meant this as like looking at the feet. I can't stop staring at those pupils.
I know this is the only picture I could find that like you could really see the claws, because you can't see them like super well unless
Both pictures I've seen, I can't stare at anything other than their pupils.
I was looking for
It
a close up
scares me.
of the feet. But like there are only ones of like dead ones and like that are like taxidermied, and I was like, I'd prefer to not use those pictures if possible.
Why? I'm the only one going to see it.
No, we now
yeah.
publish
Oh,
our
that's-
episodes to
that's
YouTube.
right.
We have a YouTube channel because we are hot shit.
Oh. I don't think you had told me about the YouTube channel.
Yeah, and it has pictures and like a running water background and everything.
That was just the first. They will have varying backgrounds from here
Oh,
on
I
out.
thought they were gonna be like all the same background.
Okay.
Anyways, Caleb, do you have any opinions on being stabbed with toenails?
I hate it when you do it to me, and yet you insist on doing it. So I don't. I don't know where you expected this conversation to go when you asked that question.
That's exactly where I expected
Yeah.
it to.
You decided the topic would be fucking fetishized feet and didn't start to go weird places.
Well, okay, so I will like sometimes try to like cuddle Caleb. And that is like rare, and he should appreciate it because I don't cuddle him very often because I'm not as cuddly of a person. And so when I
Wait,
do,
whoa. You're the cuddly one between us. I will cuddle with my pillow and with my baby girl.
I like how you said your pillow first.
yeah, pillow
Well,
because the
yeah.
pillow can't get away.
Yeah.
Baby girl kind of has a say in whether I get to cuddle her.
Does she? She's not that mobile.
She can push it, but she's pretty strong now.
Yeah. She lets it be known when she doesn't want to.
Fair enough.
We have gotten 3/4 of the way through Lilo and Stitch.
Really
If that
gearing up
tells
for
you
that big
anything.
finale.
Anyways, so Caleb is a big cuddler. I try to cuddle him, and he complains about my toenails, which are not even that long. The end. Next animal.
Thanks for reminding me. Logan,
Yes.
feet.
Okay.
Attractive feet.
Mm.
I mean, I don't. Feet or feet?
Have you ever heard of a coot?
No.
The American coot. Or Fulica americana. I have to say like all these Latin names in Spanish. It's just, I don't know. It
I mean-
seems more natural
Yeah, I would.
than saying
expect
like,
that.
that there's the Fulica americana.
Hey, that's what my ornithology class sounded like.
So, so you can flip. I'm gonna just like pinch you every time I want you to flip it.
Please don't. I
Why
want
don't you have like a
the
clicker?
What the hell do you think our budget is?
Also,
You bought a whole new podcast equipment.
Yeah, and now we're broke.
we normally have one, but Caleb left it in the room with the sleeping baby, and so we have to
Oh.
not go back in there and wake her
So
up
you
a
couldn't
third
do.
time.
You couldn't go back in for a third time. Got it.
Does that answer your question?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
Can I keep going? Don't pinch me.
You give me
So-
a fucked up duck.
It's a demon bird.
So I don't know. I think what I've seen it described as, and what I kind of agree with, is they look like a pretty chicken who learned how to swim like a duck.
I have a question about this picture. Why does he have a hat in his reflection, but not in real life?
I didn't even notice that. I'm guessing that's just the
It's just the
reflection of the
ripple.
water, but
It's
that's
the ripple
that
of the
is
water.
funny.
But
It does look like the hat and the reflection.
I don't see any chicken in this. All I see is a demon duck.
Does that change your mind a little bit?
I mean, barely.
Looks like a
It's got-
really fat flamingo. Like a
It looks like a pigeon duck thing.
It's got the body and the head of a chicken.
has the body of a donut hole.
It doesn't have the neck of a chicken. It doesn't have the beak of a chicken, but it's got the body and the head of a chicken.
Has the body of a donut hole.
It has the eyes of a pigeon, though.
It does have the eyes of a pigeon. I don't know. Yep.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, that is a just disturbing shape of an animal.
so they're actually found in our area during non-mating season.
When's mating season?
That is a great question. I'm going to assume sometime right before spring when they hatch, right? Like winter at some point, maybe.
So I can find this like at work.
I mean, I would imagine that these land back in the wetland behind Volkswagen.
So yes.
If you ever want to go out during lunch and
You think we could find one by the salt shed?
maybe in like in the drug incinerator.
Yeah, right around there.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love that we have a drug incinerator now.
We do.
It's great.
I just learned this, and I'm
Yeah.
sad that I didn't know it before.
Yeah. As soon as it showed up, Caleb immediately started talking about burning bodies.
Yeah. Like within
Seconds.
yeah, within seconds.
I think
Second.
those require different heat levels.
Mm. You should see this thing. It is
It's pretty industrial.
yeah. And it's outside. Like you could just feel like
Yeah.
you could get it done.
I mean, you could slow roast it.
Now I'm concerned for my safety.
Why do you think we would kill you?
I don't think you would kill me. It's always the spouse, though.
Yeah, that's fair. Although I think there's at least two people who he has definitely talked about who he'd kill long before you.
Yeah.
So do you want to describe the American coot? I guess we already did. But what we're missing is it's got a black body with a white beak.
It is fully black with super red eyes, at least the ones before. I can't see any eyes in
I'm
this
pretty
picture.
sure. I
I don't know
might
if
be
that's
wrong on this.
universal or not.
I think it depends on the sex of the bird. 'Cause I
Okay.
think males have the red eyes and then females don't. But I might be wrong about that.
Okay.
I know there's some birds that are.
But yeah, they are like entirely black with just a white beak.
Yeah, and we'll get to the feet. But so there's a study done in a place called Back Bay, Virginia, and they estimated that they eat around 216 tons of vegetation in the winter. So they play
Okay.
not like each one individually, right?
I mean, I kind of figured that.
Like the population that visits this bay.
They are roughly the size of a chicken or a duck, so I wouldn't imagine they're eating multiple tons of food each.
But 216 tons, that's like a pretty big ecological role that they play in the environment.
Yeah.
So I thought that was cool. I just stumbled upon that. Fortunately, these birds are of least concern, according to the IUCN. And I highly recommend, anytime we talk about birds, I have to recommend using either the Audubon app or Merlin. Is it Merlin?
Yes.
Merlin app.
Merlin is for international.
Yeah. I like Audubon a little bit more because it gives you more options in terms of identifying birds.
So the first podcast I did was entirely about beaks, and you didn't mention either of those.
Well, shit, now I am.
We've learned since then.
Yeah. And it also, on both of them, you can identify the birds and say where you found them, and that helps with conservation efforts. And I'm actually working on a graduate research project involving citizen scientists locating different species. So
Not birds, though.
if you like birds
Yeah, you're doing
Or-
salamanders, right?
or any other animal, yeah, I was, I'm probably I haven't like solidified exactly what I'm going to do, but I know it'll have to do with citizen science to some extent.
Oh, side note, not for the podcast, but I need to tell you about Colby from work. His wife does a very fun thing that you'll enjoy.
I emailed him and he hasn't emailed me back.
You know, he was busy. His wife like farms bugs like cockroaches and stuff, and like has a subscription service to feed like lizards and
That's really cool.
reptiles.
That's so weird.
It's super weird, but it's pretty cool. They
is
have like
really
the
cool.
Madagascar hissing roaches, all
That's
sorts
really
of
cool.
shit. She has like apparently her alone like has like 15 to maybe like 20 reptiles.
Yeah.
I could have used this knowledge like 2 weeks ago when I
She
needed
made-
live cockroaches.
She made me go into this.
I didn't know until today.
She made me go into this back room in her dad's
in
church
a haunted church.
that clearly no one had been in like at least a year or two. And there are these hymnals and different
Nice.
tech stuff. This was like behind the main stage or whatever. And these hymnals were like falling apart because I think the roaches were eating it.
Yeah.
And like, it was like a horror movie. I walk in and to my right, I hear scurrying and I like turn real quick and it's gone, but I see the shadow. And like, as soon as I turn to my right, I hear like 3 more scurrying on my
Hell
left.
Yeah. That's what you want to hear in a church.
And then the worst part was I had to catch one of them. And those things are like hella fast.
And okay,
Yeah.
so
I
we
did learn that like the
and one of
hissing
them crawled on
cockroaches
me.
are super slow. Like they don't fucking run.
Yeah.
They just kind of hang out.
American roaches are the worst.
Yeah, they're terrible.
And so we got 2 roaches that we thought were really big, and then I brought them to lab, and they were the
Oh,
smallest.
you had to
ones
bring
there.
them to school?
Yeah.
What the
So-
fuck?
no, wait. The best part. You haven't even heard it yet.
Guess what I did with them?
You killed them.
She made them run on treadmills.
It was to test their metabolism.
Special bug treadmills.
I think they were technically for like rodents, but we used them
Oh
for
my-
cockroaches.
So you put them in a fucking hamster wheel?
Kind of.
God damn.
But ours was one of the ones that we caught, and it was a little bitch, and it escaped.
She,
Of course it was.
Twice.
It's a fucking church roach.
She.
Oh yeah, we called her a she. We don't know if she was a she, but we called her a she.
It deserved to die.
Well, it ended up.
Good.
Euthanization. It's how I'd like to go.
But yeah,
Good
so
to
like
know.
she just has like a subscription service to provide fucking bugs for reptiles.
Well, now I know for the next time I need to run some on a treadmill.
Yeah.
to run Madagascar.
Yeah, get a
cockroaches.
Madagascar hissing cockroach.
Oh my gosh. The couch potato of the cockroach world.
Yeah. They are fucking big though. They're
Okay.
showing us pictures.
So Audubon and Merlin, you can record sightings and that helps. And if you like anything other than birds, check out iNaturalist because that is some of the data that I am using. And you can log anything from plants to mushrooms to birds and other animals, mammals, bugs, shit. Literally, you can take pictures of shit.
Oh, I
and-
don't doubt that.
and put it on there so people can identify what animal it belongs to. So it's cool. I highly recommend it, but I don't know where we were going from there.
I don't know.
Let's see.
I don't know
Probably to
where
the
we
next part
I don't
of your
know
notes.
where
Yep,
we
probably. Okay, so they're of least concern, and the chicks are adorable.
Those
They're
are
like
wild.
phoenix chicks.
Yeah, they look like
Don't they?
from the neck up, they're like phoenix babies, and then they're just dark.
Yep, like black body.
They have a fire feather boa.
Do all of the adults have that like white, essentially plate on their forehead?
Yes.
Oh, that's fun. Couldn't see those in the other pictures.
They look like a stylish divorcee.
Yes.
I know this is going to come off as me wanting to talk about feet, but the topic is about the feet, and I have still not seen their feet.
Patience.
Next picture, please. The feet.
Okay, those are very interesting.
They
So-
give me like shivers in a very bad way. Like they're like, ooh, kind of feet.
They do almost look like they are like a bug of some sort.
So this is what American coot feet look like, and they are probably some of the prettiest feet in the bird world.
I beg to differ.
You may have some coming up. I don't know.
Oh, spoiler alert.
So, do you wanna describe what these feet look like?
I mean, so you have like 3 sections, and they almost like, I guess only on one side they like bow out.
Lobes.
Yeah, that's the right word.
Yep.
And they've got like kind of like scaling platedness to them.
Yeah.
And they're like a lime to faded light green with like black outlining. And they
That
got
is-
some black nails at the end.
That's my favorite part is the coloring.
The coloring is very nice.
Absolutely. So this picture that I have up won the Audubon Picture of the Year award, and that's kind of what
Kind of
Made me choose them.
ridiculous.
what
That this is the picture of the year.
I mean.
Some
Because
grungy
a good
ass
picture.
the
feet.
feet are absolutely stunning.
I don't think so. They're creepy.
So they have feet that
they
allow
look
them.
like flattened slugs.
So
They are weird. They look like bugs, but they are a very good color.
So these feet allow them to thrive both in water and on land. Because most waterfowl have webbed feet, which makes it hard for them to run on land and stuff, right? And they're good in water. But they have these 3 long toes with 2 to 3 lobes on each toe. So essentially how they work is when they're running on land, these lobes fold back so that they're not preventing them from running. And when they're in water, they are extended to give them some traction as they
So like
swim.
this middle toe.
Yeah.
There's a second side to that.
Yes.
That's just like folded under.
Yeah.
Oh, that's very cool.
Yeah. So one of the things that American coots do is they, when they take off to fly, they run on water. And this allows them to do that because they can lift their feet quick enough because they fold back. But then when they go back down onto the water, they're solid enough to propel them.
So they're the seaplanes of the animal kingdom?
Yes, they are. Like there's other animals that take off from the water, but these guys actually run on the water to be able to take off. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Lewis and Clark originally described this as a black duck with pretty feet. That was their description.
Yeah, I get it.
So
Yeah, that gets the job done.
yeah. And then they also can walk on ice and with this as well. So not that makes a difference. I don't know why
I
said
imagine
that.
most
I can
birds
too.
can walk on ice.
And most animals in general.
That's true. Yeah.
I'm assuming you meant that, like,
They get
It doesn't-
traction.
yeah, like it
Sure.
doesn't hurt their little feet
Well,
to
and
walk on ice.
Also, because they're like wetland birds, they can walk on mud without getting stuck because their lobes are wide enough to keep them above, but they also don't have suction when they try to raise them, like a duck might have with the webbed feet, what have you. So, yeah, that's the American coot.
Hold on, go back to that.
Also,
Go back to that.
Also,
That is the most comical picture, and I don't know if it's just perspective or actual size, but those feet are gigantic.
that was one of the things I missed. Yes, their feet are they're like clown feet. I mean,
They are.
in
It looks
comparison-
like a bird version of clown shoes.
their
It
feet,
is absurd.
they're massive for their body size. So yeah, that's the American coot. There you go. I think that's all my facts.
Okay.
Oh, also you have a notepad there if you want to.
Yeah, I just noticed that. So,
Yeah, that's another addition since the last time you recorded.
how did you spell the first one? TAR.
What was the
SIERS. Tarsier.
and what was the scientific name?
Fuck you.
Tarsis asiatus.
Really could be.
Okay, I got my
Alright.
notes ready.
You all caught up.
I'm caught up. Don't worry.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and just wait for Caleb to look up the scientific name of Tarsiers.
Okay.
So that he
I'm
doesn't
not gonna
interrupt
write it
my next
down.
animal. I know, but he's just going to do it.
Do you
so
have
I'm
the
just
scientific
gonna-
name for your other animal?
No,
Nowhere
I
near.
don't.
Okay, so you.
Carlito siricta. It sounds like
It sounds like a name.
Sounds like a nickname.
sounds like yeah. Sounds like someone you'd
Sounds
meet
like
on
your neighbor down the
vacation to a
street that you-
foreign country.
Yeah, it does. It's like someone at a resort you met. You're like, I don't know if you work here, live here, or just show up. I can't tell, but I guess I'm gonna hang out with you.
Carlito.
Yeah.
Okay. So my next animal is a basket star. What kind of animal do you think this is going to be?
I don't have a fucking clue. I'm gonna say some sort of rodent.
Really?
Yeah.
A basket star?
You weren't gonna go with like starfish?
It's a starfish.
Okay. Yeah. I should have thought of that, but no.
Okay, Caleb, what is the scientific name? I see you already have it pulled up.
Astroboa nuda.
Okay. The nude astrobo. Yeah, so it's in the order of brittle stars. So brittle stars are the ones that kind of have like the long, lanky kind of arms.
So
whereas
not Patrick Star.
No,
Gotcha.
he's too chubby to be a brittle star.
This is
Dick
like
Daddy.
this is like Patrick Star after he's had way too much.
Okay.
Yeah. Like it's ruined him to the point that his arms have started falling apart.
That is not cocaine. That is full-blown meth.
Okay. We'll go with that.
That's like a combination of meth and cancer.
Okay. So they live in deep sea habitats / cold waters. But some of them can be seen in shallow tropical reefs at night. So they'll kind of like come up from the deeper areas up to the reefs towards the tropical areas. They can weigh up to 5 kilos or 11 pounds, which is very sturdy for such a skinny looking little thing.
Yeah, that is a lot of weight for a starfish.
And can live up to 35 years.
I would have expected longer, honestly.
It's a really long time for a thing that looks like
How
I don't know.
Nothing.
I imagine starfish live a long time.
how big do they get to be able to weigh that much?
I imagine that's like 3 or 4 feet.
their
from end to
legs.
end.
So their leg, not like counting their body, can be up to a meter in
Like,
length.
each leg?
Yes.
Oh, damn. Okay.
Yeah, that would account for
How
the
many
weight.
feet are in a meter? I get that
Roughly
confused with
3.
yards. Okay.
They're roughly the same.
Okay.
I think meter is slightly less.
Yeah. So each leg can be up to a meter long. And the funny thing is, they can commonly be seen on sea fans and coral. So they kind of like blend into their surroundings.
That makes sense.
And they filter feed using their legs and all their little appendages. So you can see that there's a lot of surface area there. So they just kind of let the water flow over them and take up whatever kind of filters through. There is not just one classification of these kinds of brittle stars because there's not a lot of data. And so just as a whole, they're presumed to be vulnerable and potentially endangered, but it's hard to really know for sure what exactly their conservation status is.
Oh, that is.
So that's how they filter feed. They just kind of like stick their little arms up.
They look like they're about to make a snow globe.
They're about to make a basket. Hence
For
the
a
name.
snow globe.
Basket star.
Snow globe. You're
Okay.
right, though.
So in this picture, you can kind of see it. It was also hard to get. It was hard to get
This
pictures of these
Kind of
beautiful
feels
feet.
like you cheating because there's
Why?
a lot of fucking, I guess, feet there.
Not cheating. I mean, do you have a foot fetish for like
No.
a million feet on one?
You can stop
being?
it. Do I have a foot fetish? And the answer is no.
Okay, well, just save that until you hear about these feet, and then you can decide if you have a foot fetish.
I don't.
So each of the branches can have tiny hooks or conical structures that capture prey, and so that's what I'm calling the feet.
Okay.
So all these little guys are their own.
Okay,
little
so
individual
you're counting
feet.
all of those as feet.
Yes.
Gotcha.
And when they're handled, they produce slime.
Nice.
Sploosh.
I was like, did you not see where that was going?
I wasn't expecting her to come up with it. I would have expected something like that from you, Caleb.
Yeah. Okay. So that's all I have to say about the feet. Except whenever I was looking this up, so they're called basket stars, right?
Yeah.
All the results kept on coming up as like basketball player feet, like basketball stars and their feet. So I kept on seeing these things about like these huge ass feet. And I'm like, no, that is not what I'm looking for.
I have to imagine Shaq was in there a lot.
I just kind of scrolled past. I was like, no, this is not what I'm going for.
Speaking of, I have a cousin, same one who
Named Shaq?
same one who had the accidents in Costa Rica.
The
On the
bus,
zip
the
line.
concussion.
Yeah.
Also knocked out a tooth on a water slide. It also in Costa Rica.
Does he have any teeth left?
He has a lot of bad luck.
So he had to special order his shoes because he's like a size 16 or 17, something. You
Is he
can't
the only
buy.
one of your cousins that has to do that? Because
I
you
think
have a lot of
so.
really tall cousins.
I think everyone else is max 14, which you can still get.
Yeah, 14's hard to find in the stores, but you can do it.
But yeah, 16, you have to special order that. And that's probably bigger than most NBA players' feet.
I guess most, maybe.
Close, at least.
That's probably like a normal like NBA player.
I'm amazed he can get shoes that aren't basketball shoes.
Just look at that slime on those little feet.
The jokes write themselves. So this next animal is probably my favorite of the ones I chose. Ayla's just asking me for alcohol.
Good.
All right, so I chose.
That was not a good sound. We had a good pop. We had a good clink. And then that.
Yeah.
It's okay. We can cut it.
Also, you are being terrible at flipping slides for me.
Do you want me to? I don't know if you
Oh,
want him
shit.
to
She was
know.
awake. Why didn't you go get the clicker?
Yeah.
You know what? Change the damn slide.
I didn't know if you were prepared yet.
Iron snail.
Iron snail. Have you ever heard of an iron snail?
No, I imagine it's like Tony Stark as a snail.
Absolutely.
Yep.
100%.
I mean, they did like an ape version. Thor's a frog. Like, yeah, it checks out.
The iron snail, or Chrysomelon squamiferum. Let's try that again. Chrysomelon squamiferum.
Sure.
Yep, that sounds good. So I would argue that this is the most badass gastropod in existence.
I don't think you can
That
describe a lot of
is-
gastropods
yeah.
as badass.
I don't know you can describe any of them as badass.
Do you know what a gastropod is?
I believe it's like snail/slug kind of thing, like scooches along.
I like that description.
Scooches.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that's a gastropod other than
Not off the top of my head.
no nudibranchs or gastropods?
So I fucking nailed it.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, most bad. So it's not a high bar, but you know. No,
Okay, but
actually,
if
I will say
nudibranchs are in there though, like they're automatically at the top.
What the fuck is a nudibranch?
I will show you. It is a very
It's
colorful,
it's-
beautiful sea slug type
Okay,
thing.
so it's still a slug.
but
Got
like
it.
the pretty sea slugs, you know, not like the big. It's not like a sea cucumber. Are sea cucumbers gastropods? That's a good question.
They're like tie-dye slugs.
Those are nice.
They're so pretty.
They look like
And
demons, but I like it.
there's actually some pretty.
Demons in a good way.
There's
Yeah.
actually some pretty cool snails and slugs out there
Oh, I'm sure there are.
that I want to. Their hunting tactics are freaking terrifying. So I at some point will choose them again.
That one looks like a Chinese dragon. Sorry for the
So
audio
anyway,
listeners, I guess.
can we drop the nudibranch talk?
Okay, you made a very bold statement, and I'm just questioning it.
So they're also known as the scaly foot snail, volcano snail, or it's the sea pangolin.
Okay.
And we're looking at a
Volcano
picture.
snail and sea pangolin. Good names.
Well, I'll talk about the picture in a minute. Sea pang. I know, I love that name. That's my favorite. For
When
sure.
you started that, I thought you were going to say a sea penguin, and I was like, wait, there's
No.
already those.
I fucking got it.
So here's they're only found in the entire world that we know of over an area of approximately 0.1 square miles.
And where is it?
That's roughly the size of 2 American football fields.
Yeah, that's a very small space. You still have to tell me where that is.
And
though.
they're only around, so these are around 4 hydrothermal vents.
Right there.
right there.
You haven't
Yeah.
talked about this
Yeah,
picture.
go to the next picture.
Okay. Got it.
In the Indian Ocean.
Rough off the, I mean, like
Away,
general area of Madagascar.
yeah, a ways off, but yeah. That's still at least a few thousand miles away.
So is each dot like its own like
So
area of them?
Those 3 dots are 4 different hydrothermal vents that they're found at.
Okay.
So one of those
it really
dots-
bothers me. There's 3 dots and 4 vents, but
Yeah.
So the combined area is point.
is 2 football fields.
okay. So it's not one single area. It's like 4 areas spread out that total that.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So their habitat is tiny.
Yeah.
Like yeah. So it's understandable why they're going to be they're threatened at the moment. So they live at depths of around 9,500 feet, and at temps around, and that's 2,900 meters. Temps around 750 degrees Fahrenheit or 350 degrees Celsius in what would be considered toxic water. If you can go back to the previous picture.
Maybe you should have had them in order.
I was wondering if those are Yeti crabs in the background of this photo. because they have a very similar habitat.
Yeah, possibly. They don't have the white fur, though.
Yeah. So Yeti crabs also live around hydrothermal vents.
So now I'm going to need a picture of a Yeti crab.
You'd know what they looked like if you listened to our podcast and watched our YouTube videos.
Well, I didn't know there was a YouTube channel until today during this recording. So
Do you know what a Yeti crab is?
No.
No.
Yeah, so you didn't listen to the previous episode either.
I know. I listened to the first, I think, 4.
Gosh.
And then I haven't listened to the last, I don't know how many released total.
There have not been that many, so there's no excuse.
Yeah. Depression.
You've been driving a lot.
You're not wrong.
Okay, so back to the iron snail. Another fun fact, they don't eat.
Photosynthesis, got it.
Close. So similar to coral, they have a symbiotic relationship with another organism that creates energy for them.
Okay.
Through, I don't know if it's photosynthesis, but through absorption of energy.
Would it not be chemoautotrophism? No,
Probably that, yeah.
because they would
Similar
be
to the
taking it,
Yeti crabs.
Yeah, because they would be taking it from the heat of the hydrothermal vents.
Yeah. So they have an animal that lives in their stomach and creates
That's not fun.
the food for them.
Logan has one of those,
An animal in my stomach?
like a tapeworm.
Oh, okay. Guess I have a tapeworm now. Didn't know that.
Oh, look. My next chemoautotrophs. Yep. So the chemoautotrophs that they host require high oxygen demand, leading the iron snail to have one of the largest hearts in the animal kingdom proportional to body size.
Aw.
So they
So it's not the Grinch.
have big hearts.
Maybe it was the Grinch at the end of the movie.
It still wasn't that big of a heart.
So because all known hydrothermal vents in the Indian Ocean currently fall within an existing deep sea mining exploration lease, these snails were recently, as of 2019, added to the IUCN Red List as vulnerable to extinction. So essentially, a company got a permit to mine the entire Indian Ocean and like deep sea mine.
I feel like they didn't get the whole thing.
So I found a diagram of what deep sea mining looks like, and essentially, there's these machines that go down and mine solids deposits on the seafloor and send them up to a ship, and then that ship then sends out sediment plumes from processing the mining stuff.
These machines in this diagram just look like bulldozers.
I know.
They really do. I don't know what they actually look like in real life, but
I
know.
didn't expect like
I
an
wanna-
actual thing on the bottom of the ocean, though.
I wasn't either.
like tubes of some kind.
I was picturing like drilling,
Yeah.
which I
But
think these might drill, but
This
they're-
diagram, like those just look like construction equipment, and it cracks me up.
So while there are groups that are fighting deep sea mining, there are no specific conservation efforts to save these ecosystems around hydrothermal vents, specific to the hydrothermal vents. So that's not great. There obviously needs to be some work in this, and there are people moving towards that, but this science is moving a lot quicker than regulation on the science. So not great. All right, what you came here for. Fetish worthy feet.
Yeah. We're like, what, an hour in, and I've seen 2 feet, 3 feet?
3 feet. About to see 4.
Sorry, 3
Red
feet.
blue.
All right. So, first of all, this is the only gastropod with scaled armor. Like they all have, well, a lot of them have armor in this form of shells, but none of them
Okay.
have scaled armor.
Okay.
So their shells have scales.
No. So
So are the scales their feet?
scales are their feet. Yes.
So each foot is its own armadillo?
Well, so it's more like
Some
their
pangolin.
foot is covered in biological chainmail
I do like that.
that's made of iron. So
Is it
Secondly-
is it actually iron?
Yeah.
Oh, that's really cool.
not only, okay. Secondly, this is the only known animal to have a skeleton made out of iron. So there's not only are their scales iron, their shell is also iron.
Now I'm really sad that Iron Man isn't based off this snail.
I know. Well, this the snail wasn't discovered until
It's kind of like Wolverine.
fairly
though.
recently.
Wolverine of snails.
I'm pretty sure the snail was discovered in like the last 2 decades.
That's
So-
not surprising if it's that small of an area.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, they're freaking awesome. And they have 2 variants. One of them is kind of a whiter color and the other one's more black. And as far as we know, they're the same species and there's no difference in like male versus female. It's just 2 different color morphs.
That's pretty cool.
So they develop shells and hundreds of scales around their soft snail parts out of iron sulfide.
I like the soft snail parts.
All of the little snail bits.
Oh, why?
Because snails have like a soft foot, so everything underneath that is soft still.
I think it's called the belly.
It's a foot.
Called the big old belly.
Oh my gosh. So they are iron and they actually stick to magnets. So I don't know who decided they wanted to find that out, but I picture someone.
I have to imagine that someone just dives down and holds a magnet and sees what comes to
No,
it.
what I have to imagine is they brought him up, put him in a fish tank, and whoever was cleaning the tank with the magnet cleaner.
Oh,
It accidentally got
that's
stuck to
definitely
it.
how they found out. But I assume as soon as they found that out, someone just took like a fishing magnet and just went down there.
That'd be a good way to collect them. Don't do it. Oh my gosh, we're just.
I don't think a lot of people are going to be listening to this podcast and then going down to hydrothermal vents in the Indian Ocean to collect.
You say
I
what,
honestly-
9,000 feet or something like
Yeah,
that?
and I don't
that's a little
think-
far.
I'm pretty sure humans can't go there because of the temperature, right? So like this has to be
I
the
don't know.
robots that go down there,
Depends on the
Yeah, it's
temperature. Because some
bulldozers.
Which I guess-
hydrothermal vents are hotter than others.
and robots can probably still.
It's the bulldozers and the Titanic. That's
Have
all that
magnets.
goes down there.
I don't think the Titanic was in the Indian.
No, but it went deep enough.
Okay, so speaking of
The
snail hunting tactics, they protect their feet with iron chainmail against other snails that hunt with venomous harpoon-like weapons. So, and I just picture like a bunch of snails running around with spears and throwing them. At
No,
other
I
snails.
imagine the like coconut people from Moana.
Yes.
That's what I imagine.
Exactly.
Just trying to stab a snail.
I
Yep.
was imagining Moby Dick. So I love how we all just have different thought processes on this.
Yeah.
So yes, there are snails that hunt with harpoon-like devices, and this protects these weird snails. So cool feet, iron feet.
But are they sexy feet?
It's like, isn't there?
Logan?
Chainmail is sexy.
Heck yeah,
And I don't mean that as a joke. I truly believe that.
ladies out
Good to
there.
know.
Have you ever gone to Ren Fair?
No.
You might need to arrange for.
I just need to get my own chainmail.
Oh, wow, that got weird.
Oh, that's where it got weird. I think the second you told us the topic, this got weird.
We gave you such an innocent one to start with.
Oh
I
yeah,
mean,
such an innocent one. You started with beaks. Now we're on fucking feet fetish.
fetish worthy feet. Sorry.
Same fucking thing.
Apparently, chainmail is where it's at. So I think we know which one's going to be in first place.
Let's
You
not
know-
jump the gun.
You still got a chance. A little far away from that one.
All right. So my next animal is the lungfish. What kind of animal do you think this is, Logan?
I imagine a puffer fish.
It is a fish.
You can
Not a puffer
you can
fish.
actually see these at the Tennessee Aquarium.
You can see, I think, one at the Tennessee Aquarium, and it's hard to see.
Two, one of them is just electric.
Is the one in Chattanooga the Tennessee Aquarium, or is that the one in Gatlinburg?
The one in
Gatlinburg's
Chattanooga.
Ripley's.
Chattanooga is the Tennessee Aquarium
Gotcha.
because Chattanooga is all of Tennessee.
Correct.
So this is what the lungfish looks like. It looks like an eel with little legs, but they're not really legs. They're kind of, well, how would you describe their legs?
Those look like the whiskers on a catfish.
Yep. They're like little spaghettis coming off of the eel in strategic places.
They don't look that strategic.
That's okay. If you were to draw legs on an eel, is that not
They
where you
would-
would draw the
no.
legs?
Absolutely not. I would not put the front. The front two would be much further back.
Okay, but picture this as like the missing link between fish and
Humans.
Yeah, sure.
That is a wide gap to breach. Why not go like fish and lizard?
No, this is the only
I guess
gap.
that's salamander, but essentially.
But yeah. Okay, so the reason they're called lungfish is that they are able to breathe air. And some of the species have gills and some of them do not. So some of them are able to actually breathe like through the water, and some of them just like have to rely on their lungs.
So is it just like a fucking lottery? Like you roll a dice and see if you can breathe air
Well,
or
okay,
water?
there's
No.
6 species of lungfish.
Okay.
So
And
yes.
lungfish are not the only fish that can breathe air. There are at least dozens of fish
Okay.
species
So
that
you
can
say-
Dozens
breathe
of-
air.
So you say they can breathe air. Do they have to breathe air, or is it just an option?
Depends. So the ones that have gills can breathe underwater. The ones that do not have gills.
There's some fish that are obligate surface breathers, so they have to go up to the top to
Okay.
breathe. Yeah, which I imagine some lungfish are the same way.
Yes. So yeah, 6 known species of lungfish. And they can be found in Africa, South America, and Australia, because of course they're in Australia. They've been around in the fossil record since the Triassic period. And they have a highly specialized respiratory system. They have I don't even know exactly how to describe it. They have a thing in their lungs that's connected to the larynx and the pharynx without a trachea. So the trachea is the windpipe.
Oh, I know what a trachea is.
Yeah. The larynx and the pharynx both go towards the lungs.
You're thinking of the Scott organ,
The what?
the Scott organ, Michael Scott organ.
This sounds like a sexual joke and I don't
I
understand
think
it.
he's trying to make a phallus joke.
Is that what we're going for?
I don't know where this went.
I don't know
I
where
don't,
it
you're going to
started.
brought up Michael Scott.
Phallus?
What else does he make jokes about?
Okay. Most extant
Does kind of
lungfish
look like a penis.
species.
I mean, yes, an eel.
Most extant lungfish species have 2 lungs, with the exception of the Australian lungfish,
Your
which only has
mom's
1
extant.
lung.
I have 2 lungs. So what's so special about this?
The Australian lungfish only has 1 lung.
Yeah, it's a fish.
That's why it's called the lungfish. Otherwise, it'd be called
The lungs fish.
yes.
Okay. I can't even continue.
I mean, you can't go up to, like, if you went up to a doctor and was like, I have lungs, they'd assume you have 2.
I have lung.
I'm completely off of this. I just heard the cat meow in my headphones and fucking lost it.
Okay, let's
right,
just
so-
get through this.
Eel with lungs. Got it.
Yes. All right. So, of extant lungfish, only the Australian lungfish can breathe through its gills. So, there are other ones that have gills, but they also need air from its lungs because gills, like the air that goes through there doesn't actually go straight to the lungs. It just goes straight from the gills to the circulatory system. In other species, the gills are too atrophied to actually let gas exchange happen, which is a little bit sad. The African and the South American lungfish are able to survive seasonal drying out of their habitats because they burrow into sand or mud. So that's what their little hidey holes look like. They literally just look like a big hole.
It looked like if you just buried a jug
Yep.
and left the top open
Exactly.
to the elements.
Yep.
So they
Um,
must, like, dig down to right below the water table.
Yep. So they dig down, and it slows its metabolism down to as little as 100 or 1/60th of its normal metabolic rate. And its protein waste converts from ammonia to urea, which means that it doesn't actually have to like take in and excrete things. It just it's kind of like a hibernation type setting, which is pretty cool.
So it doesn't need kidneys.
Sometimes only when it's in this state. Otherwise
Okay.
it does.
Does it need adult knees?
It needs adult diapers.
Okay. The lungfish can live for a really long time. There's a Queensland lungfish that's in the Shed Aquarium in Chicago, which we have not been to, even though we've been to Chicago. We've been to Chicago together, I think twice.
Thrice?
And I've been there even apart from you, and we still have not made it to the Shed Aquarium, which is unfortunate.
I should get a long layover in Chicago and just go to the aquarium.
Yes.
No! Gonna make it there before us.
I know.
Have you gone to the Tennessee Aquarium?
The one in Chattanooga? Yes. I've been there like 4 times.
It's a freaking cool aquarium.
It is.
Yeah.
Anyways, a lungfish was at the Shed Aquarium as part of a permanent live collection from 1933 until 2017.
Yeah.
It's a long ass time.
That's a long fucking time.
And at that point, it was euthanized because it
Let it live.
it was old, and also it's already dead as of like
Lock
5
her up.
years.
Well, I know it's dead now. They euthanized it, but like just let it die naturally.
Lock him up.
Well,
I didn't expect that to be as loud as it was.
they can also be pretty big. So there
That's what she
was-
said.
Not to you.
I feel like this is quickly going off the rails.
Oh, it is. Okay, tell me about this fucking lungfish.
Okay, so there was an Australian lungfish living in a San Francisco museum that was believed to be the oldest living aquarium fish in the world, and its name was Methuselah, because of course it was. It was 4 feet long, which is over a meter, and it weighed 40 pounds, or about
Jeez.
18 kilograms. So imagine that, but like 40 pounds of that.
Yeah, that's a pretty big.
Looks like a tadpole.
No, it doesn't.
Looks like an
I mean-
overgrown old tadpole.
From the front, I can see a little bit of a
A
tadpole.
long ass tadpole.
It's a long ass tadpole, but I can see it. Like just looking like straight in its face. Yeah, I can see tadpole.
Do you have anything about electric eels in there, Eilish?
No, because I'm not talking about electric eels. I'm
Okay.
talking about
Does it-
lungfish.
Fun fact.
Does it actually walk like that?
I haven't gotten to that yet because Caleb has a fun fact that he
Okay.
apparently needs to share right now.
Either electric eels are one of the closest relatives to lungfish, or they are a type of lungfish.
Cool.
I'm
Yeah,
not
kind
sure
of a fun
which it
fact.
read off.
It'd be a more fun fact if you knew which one it was.
Yeah, I know.
Semi fun fact.
Potentially fun.
I'm pretty
fact.
sure they're obligate air breathers, though. So like they have to
Okay.
surface.
Yeah, that's cool.
So, the feet. During the breeding season, the South American lungfish, so one type of the lungfish, literally develops a pair of feathery appendages that are highly modified pelvic fins. So, like these guys up here, up
Okay.
by its gills. These fins are thought, because we don't actually know what they're for, they're thought to improve gas exchange around the fish's eggs in its nest. So, literally, during breeding season, this mofo develops feet because it's horny.
That is impressive.
Yeah. It's like, I'm horny, here's some feet. Bet you like feet too.
That would have been a good one for like animals with foot fetishes.
No, because it's not fetishizing its own feet. It's like,
No,
here's
but
my
the females
feet.
fetishize the male's feet.
No, the females are the ones that get the feet.
Okay, well then the males fetishize the female feet.
I think you were right the second time. First, I don't know. I lost count.
Yeah, that one.
The females fetishize the male feet
No, other way
They're
around.
they're
'cause-
like,
No, no, no.
hey, look, I'm horny.
because the males
here's
have
some
feet.
no, the females.
Oh,
have
The
feet.
females
Okay,
have the feet.
Then I got that backwards.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So the females are like, hey, I bet you have a foot fetish. And if you didn't, now you
Gotcha.
do. So Logan, how do you feel about those feet?
How do I feel about the lungfish's feet?
Yeah.
They're pretty interesting. I still don't have a foot
Sexy.
fetish. No. I'm sticking with my
Look
own.
look it.
It looks like it's dancing, and that's very adorable.
It's
But-
like, have you seen have you have you seen the videos where like people will add like eyebrows and like hands and feet and
Yes.
stuff? That's what it looks like.
That is what it looks like.
Sexy.
Not sexy.
What if they had some chainmail on them?
They had chainmail, they'd be better.
I've learned a lot about you right now.
You've learned one thing. That's I like chainmail.
But it says a lot.
Does it?
Yes, it does.
Okay. Well, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. Chainmail's hot.
Notice it's always dead air when it's Caleb's turn to go.
Yeah, I know.
I had to.
Because he's half on his phone and half through the computer.
I had to.
Because you don't have your fucking clicker.
No. This is because Eilish doesn't talk about the scientific name.
That is
Lungfish
very late.
from the order dip. It's DIPN
Dipset. Got it.
DIPNOI. So I want to say dip noir.
Sure.
Dip
Does it
noir.
have an R at the end?
No.
Then it's not Dip Noir.
Dipnoi.
Yeah. It's fully Australian.
But it sounds.
Noi.
Hey, that's a dip noir right there. I am so sorry if anyone from Australia ever listens to this. Okay. So my
Last animal.
last animal
Woo, we made it.
is the gecko from the infraorder
I do like a gecko.
Geckota.
Is that as hot as chainmail?
Right.
No.
So, they can live anywhere from 10 to 20 years in the wild. Which is pretty long for a lizard of that size. They're freaking gorgeous. There are 1,450 different species, or around that many different species of gecko. And like chameleons, they can actually change colors to match their surroundings.
Oh, I didn't know geckos could do that.
Obviously, it depends on the species how much they can change, but they all have the ability
Is
to
that your
change color.
favorite one?
Yeah, the bottom right with like the fading into the blue tail. Fucking great.
I just chose.
So the problem with that one for me is it looks too much like a gummy.
No, that's what makes it great.
No, because you eat gummies.
If
Yeah.
if you
You
see
want
an
to eat that
so?
one?
okay, if you see an animal that you might accidentally mistake for a piece of candy that you could eat, that automatically makes it a cute animal.
Yeah.
Like no
It
one's
just-
gonna call a cockroach cute because no one's gonna try to eat a cockroach.
Yeah, I'm
That's
gonna
not
stomp
true.
that
Okay,
shit.
It's the vast majority of people, which is true.
Continue.
Okay, I thought you were gonna argue. So, one of the things what do you know about geckos?
They're cute and they eat bugs.
Yeah, what do you know about their feet? I don't care about the other stuff.
They can they have kind of like little like suction cuppy pads, right?
No,
No, they don't.
but
Okay.
they do have sticky feet.
Okay.
Only about 60% of them are able to stick to surfaces, though. It's about 40% that are not. And 35 species of gecko don't even have legs to begin with.
So they're snakes.
No, they're geckos.
I-
Okay, so not every reptile that is missing limbs is a snake.
But it is.
We'll have to talk about legless geckos
Yeah. 'cause
at some point.
I need to know that. We can do that at work tomorrow.
I went on a dive a while ago and they're really cool. But yeah, so like they don't have sharp teeth or anything, but yeah. So legless geckos, look them up. Okay. The feet.
Okay.
So, gecko feet have these rows of flaps. Those flaps are skin covered in tiny hairs called setae. Those hairs all end in spatula-like split ends called spatulae. Very original. Spatula structures are about 200 nanometers long, and I'm not going to convert that. That is, but just for reference, that is smaller than a wavelength of visible light. So those little spatulas, and I have a picture showing kind of each different level.
That is very fascinating.
Yeah. So you can see how it goes. I mean, you can see the spatula like split ends in the very smallest 1 micrometer image there. And again, this will be in the video and in the show notes. So yeah, really tiny spatula like structures. So these structures are small enough to interact with any surface on a molecular level through a weak force called van der Waals forces. So essentially what that is just the fact that the structures and the surface both have electrons spinning around means that they're mildly attracted to each other. So they are attaching literally at a molecular level to whatever surface they are walking on.
But only very weakly.
Yeah, but
Yes.
still.
Still, like if humans could harness this ability,
We'd all be Spider-Man.
Exactly.
yeah,
Gecko Man.
Yep.
Why isn't there a Gecko Man?
It doesn't roll off the tongue like Spider-Man.
So and then by adjusting, they can adjust the angles of those hairs. They can attach and release quickly. And they can even run up to 20 body lengths per second.
Really?
So, yeah.
They must go that fast.
It's a hell of a lot faster than we can run. I think humans is
Speak
like
for yourself.
I think
No,
even
I'm
the
kidding.
fastest
I'm
humans are like 4 or
Not
5.
nearly that fast.
Yeah. So that is geckos. I don't think I have any more pictures.
That is the end. All right.
So think about it. Ailish
I'm gonna need a
has-
minute to like kind of decide my order here.
Yeah. As you're thinking, we will pitch our conservation groups. So mine is the Philippine Tarsier Foundation. So they also have a research and development center in Corella, Bohol in the Philippines, called the Tarsier Research and Development Center, or the Philippine Tarsier and Wildlife Sanctuary. I'm going to make the distinction that is not the Lobak Tarsier conservation area, because that is like a predatory, horrible place that like keeps them in bad conditions and charges people to like pet them and stuff. So the actual foundation that helps tarsiers and is affiliated with the National Philippine Tarsier Group is the Tarsier Research and Development Foundation, or Development Center in Corella, not in Lobak. So if you ever happen to be in the Philippines, make sure you're going to the right one, because one of them is super predatory and the other one is actually working for the conservation of tarsiers across the continent. Caleb, what is your conservation group?
So my conservation group is the DOSI, or Deep Ocean Stewardship Initiative. Essentially, it's a global network of experts that is seeking to protect deep ocean ecosystems, including animals like the iron snail and other deep sea creatures we've already talked about on the podcast. And they aid in decision-making relating to governance of this relatively new technology and practice of deep sea mining. And they work with big organizations like the UN, as well as governments and all sorts of stuff. And you can follow them on Twitter and Instagram at Deep Stewardship. So check them out.
Okay, I have my list.
All right, start from the bottom.
Okay,
What was the least sexy feat?
I think the least fetish-worthy feet that I saw today were the Tarsiers. You're not gonna like the next one. The next lowest, I would go with the Lungfish. I think.
They grow feet when they're horny
Yeah. Okay. It's not the most fetish-worthy.
to impress you, Logan specifically.
No. No. Okay. Then fourth, I'm going with the American Coot.
I was about to say, if it's another one of mine.
So
Prettiest feet, though.
they might be the prettiest feet.
Yeah.
Most vibrant for sure. And then I'm going with
Just a blatant lie.
what? Then I'm going with the iron snail.
Ah,
It's gonna fall in third.
Even though it's chainmail.
I'm surprised. I really am.
Yeah, it's not real chainmail. I mean, it is functionally. I guess it truly it is the real
It's the
chainmail.
real chainmail. It's the original chainmail.
Fair enough.
It's been around longer than our interpretation of it.
Yeah. But it's coming in third. And then I gotta go with the gecko in second.
You giving the starfish first?
I am giving the basket star number one.
Woo!
Because of the sploosh?
Yes, because of the sploosh. No, I just something about the basket star just really stuck with me.
Really gets to you.
So I don't know.
In a sexual way.
No, I do not have a foot fetish. I have never had a foot fetish.
Do you have a basket star fetish, though?
No,
What about a basketball star fetish?
no.
Okay, this wasn't which feet you like the most. This was most fetish worthy.
And you're saying the basket star isn't?
Trying to argue my point. I mean,
No.
I think-
Basket star is number one.
I think the American Coot is the most fetish worthy, but that's just me.
No,
Luckily, you weren't the one judging.
that's my order.
All right. They love you.
I went
At
again.
least I didn't get both bottom.
This time. Who's won the most, though?
Yeah, whatever.
By a lot.
Mm.
Not that I'm keeping track.
Yeah, not at all. All right, bedtime.
Logan, thanks for being on the podcast again.
Yeah, it was fun. I'm sure I'll be back fairly soon.
That was real presumptuous of you.
Thanks for joining us for Sippin' Safari. Subscribe on Patreon for more content, and every month we'll be donating 50% of all contributions on Patreon to the charity of our subscribers' choice.